Hello, today I'm looking at a fairly new game, well, a new version of a game by Compass Games. NATO The Cold War Goes Hot. It's based on an earlier Bruce Maxwell design, I believe, from the 80s. I think it says on the back of the box, so we'll see that in a bit. The designer signature edition, so newly released. Unusual for me in that it's not a solo game. It can be played two-handed. Normally I do avoid these, but I do like Cold War history, NATO and the Warsaw Pact, and I don't really have many games that simulate that era. I've got Cold War to Navy, which I've never actually got to the table, again, because it's two-player. You can play it two-handed. So hopefully I will actually get this to the table at some point. That's my intention. But I like the theme, which is the reason behind me getting it. Apologies, I knew we were going to get a little cat cameo. I've been away for a couple of days and she's not wanting to leave me alone at the moment. So yeah, yes, first published in 1983, was Victory Games' best-selling title, purchased by over 75,000 gamers worldwide. Obviously nowadays there's more historical records come out, so it can be a lot more accurate than it was at the time. Complexity medium, timescale 1 turn, covers 24 hours, map scale 15 miles per hex, unit scale brigades and divisions and abstract air and naval units. Now we get number of players 2 to 4, best with 2, medium suitability for solitaire. I always do have a bit of a I think people fall into two camps when you're on Facebook and things like that. People will often, if somebody asks for a solitaire game, they'll recommend games that you can play two-handed, and to me they're not solitaire games. They just don't tend to do it for me, but hopefully this one will, and it may change my mind. I have done it, but I just don't find it as satisfying as playing a game where you're actually trying to beat even if it's an AI bot or however the game is based. I like to be trying to beat somebody. Average time to play 3 to 8 hours based on the scenario. So let's have a look at what is inside the box. Couple of six-sided dice. Something counters bear. They're the same. Those two got two. Slightly right. Counterbearing an area reinforcement set, so it's just a bit of clarification. Compass Games do this quite a lot. I don't know whether that's a new thing that they do, but it's quite nice that they do it as soon you know that they've actually checked things when they come out. So we've got there's some clouding that up actually. Player aid, preparations chart, chemical strikes, airspace effects chart, supply chart, chemical strike table, zone of control effects, and a unit movement summary chart. So that's one player aid. That's the NATO player aid, I should say. I'm guessing we'll have the same. So usual combat results table, counter-attack table, unit summary chart, NATO alert chart. Lots of charts, campaign tables, and for different, obviously changes depending on the different scenarios: strategic surprise, war of nerves, or extended build-up scenario. I think you'll tell when we get to the book, but I think there's 3 scenarios and each can be played with different elements of surprise. Artillery and air strike table, airspace chart, which Warsaw Pact interception table, nuclear strike table, NATO interception table. So those. Yeah, again, this is the second one I've had with this new packaging from Compass. confused me slightly is there's no, well, maybe it is under there, maybe I'm just jumping ahead. There's no, they're all seem to be NATO based charts, not Warsaw Pact. So we've got the playbook. You can see there the different scenarios. Apologise for the sun. The ball tap scenario, which is an initial in Denmark, I believe, and that's an introductory type scenario. The strategic surprise scenario, extended build-up, war of nerves, special rules, and then the war of nerves scenario, and then the different odds battle from 83 and 88. I believe I'm right in saying the original game was 83 and I've now added the 88 in. So you've got a little bit of background information on the scenario, the initial resources, and your starting deployment, any variable rules and victory conditions. I think that's pretty much for each one, variable rules. It's a nice, I'm guessing a lot of people like me, they like to read the introductory parts and get immersed in the game, so it's nice to see. I've got extensive design notes as well, which I will enjoy reading. So we've got page 26, they start. To page 33, and then you've got historical unit information as well. And then the order of battles. Yeah, plenty of, even if I don't like to play the game, there's some nice reading there for me. Giant player terms. I'm guessing to do it can be played with 4 players, so there'll be something to do with the 4-player game, I'm guessing. But you've got the terrain effects chart there, how it affects defense and attack, after combat effects, any special features. There's a lot in the game, it really is. That is that the same? Well, that one says NATO on it. This one doesn't. It says NATO on the bottom though. Yeah. NATO. But anyway, that will become a pound anyway. That's for the, I'm guessing for the 4-player game. More of the same. Player aids. And then reinforcement schedules for the different scenarios. Yeah, different years, different scenarios. And this is the NATO, the Warsaw Pact one. Rulebook, which I had already heard in advance was quite lengthy. "87 pages of rules. Hopefully it's laid out well so that you can see where you're going with the game, and it's yeah, there is a lot of rules in there. Maybe if I've already looked at a couple of videos on YouTube briefly, so maybe doing a little bit more of that to get my head around how the game works. There does look to be a lot of graphics and explanations as well, which is always good. It's different player notes and designer notes there to explain things. Yes, the proof will be in the pudding when we come to playing the game. A couple of maps. These join up. Single-sided. Anybody who's seen my videos before will know I do like mounted maps, but it's, and I do have some perspex that I put over these anyway, just to protect them. I think the two maps are just going to join up. Sorry, I'm doing that off screen. I'm opening the other map up there. Yeah. So yeah, that's not big enough to get it on my setup here, but that basically is the bottom half. Just have to work out whether that can fit on this table. I may have to alter my setup slightly, but we'll see. I'll find a way of getting it on. Funnily enough, that was the big sticking point with getting started on Cold Water Navy as well. The other World War III game that I've got. But, the maps were quite big, although I have a setup now where I can keep things on the table, which I couldn't previously. Mainly because of the cats, one of whom you saw making a brief appearance in the video earlier. But I've got a room where I can just keep things fastened away. And just pause this as I open the cellophane. I'm glad I did pause that, else you'd have seen 2 minutes of me struggling with cellophane. Finally having to go and get a knife. There's a knack to opening things that are cellophane, but I'm not very good at it. I don't have that knack. Nice counters actually, these. Nice and glossy. Look as if they'll pop out quite easily as well. I'm trying not to do it because I don't want to lose any counters at the moment. How many sheets have we got of counters? I'm not going to try and guess what all the nation's colours are and get them wrong, because people will know far better than me. So mobilisation supplies, there's your unit counters, guessing to do with nuclear chemical strikes, alert levels, getting supplies. The fourth one, reserves. Yeah, you got your NATO on the back of that. Yeah, they do. I'm very impressed with those counters. They look very nice. So that is the unboxing of NATO The Cold War Goes Hot. Hopefully I will get it to the table. I'm determined to give it a go. Just work out how to actually get it on the table with the size of the map, but I'm sure I'll find a way. Thank you for tuning in to this one. I'm sure next time I'll be back to my more usual solitaire unboxings. Thank you.